All right. Well, welcome back to another episode of Inktober. Today is day 21. We have survived 21 days of Inktober, so that's pretty exciting. I'm two-thirds of the way there. Just another 11 to go after this. So we're on our way towards the end, which I'm pretty excited about. Anyways, so yesterday we worked on frost. And today we will have a new word, but before we move on to our new word, let's check out and see what we ended up with for frost. So let's jump over into the studio. And so I think I had more fun with this one yesterday. I couldn't figure out what we were doing. And so I ended up somewhere here at the end of yesterday's episode where we were like, well, maybe we should do a bird. How do you add frost? Does frost go on white, on black? And I went back and forth with a bunch of different things. So today I sat down and I learned about frost and I kind of figured out a couple different things. One, I think we're going to move forward with this show differently so that it's more interesting. I'm still working on that part to make making drawing interesting. A lot of drawing is time consuming, which is why people are amazed by it. It looks great, but people don't know how much time you actually spend doing something. Anyways, so we ended on the bird. Didn't love the bird, but that was our practice on black. Anyways, I ended up taking the scraps and I decided to do some other renditions, trying to get frost like on a window. So this one's on a window that's being opened at the bottom where there's a creepy hand coming out. And I was really working more on trying to figure out how to use pen to create texture, because that's the next journey of using pens and markers, is how do you use it to create texture. Why does one thing look different than the next thing, right? So like if everything's just white, plain white, it's all going to look like the same material. This beam right here could have probably used some wood grain, right? So adding a little bit of texture will help your picture look better. Here's the issue I ran into. How do you add texture of frost? What does it look like? Is it dots? Because technically it's not black dots. It's really the reflection of light. It's crystallized light that's gotten stuck to an object, right? So you have that problem. Anyways, the dots worked out pretty well. I liked the run, but to be written in a finger, I couldn't really get much behind it, which was kind of a bummer. And it just turned out to look more like spray paint or someone drew with marker on it, you know? So I didn't really like that. Where did I go next? Next, I went to trying to draw that same thing on the back of a car. And then some angry looking person scraping ice off of his window. I also tried to do the pointillism backwards, trying to dot in all the dark space and then add dark around it. Meh, not a big fan. Then I went over to back over to Frosty the Snowman, because I said, all right, let's just get this done. That was the plan. Frosty was okay. So those two things happened. Then I said, okay, well, let's do a different animal, not a bird, but we'll do a squirrel, and we'll try to make a mailbox look like it's covered in frost. And I made that mailbox look more like it got shot up by BBs than I did make it look like it was covered by frost. So, yeah, that was an issue. Then I said, all right, well, let's take Frosty the Snowman's face and let's outline it like you're looking from the inside of a mailbox out at him. But then I was like, that's pretty boring. Skull with different type of frost. There's frost that is windblown frost that blows over like the landscape, causing it to have like crystals to one side of it, which is different than other types of frost, which is the hoar frost, which is our normal type of frost that you see. Learned a lot about frost. Yeah, pretty fun adventure being an artist. You learn about things you had no clue you were going to learn about. So then I went back to the car idea, and then I did a zoomed in version of the car. This was a little bit more interesting. Hi, Kylie. This one was a little bit more interesting. What I tried to do here was I tried to leave the frost where he wasn't scraping. So like he was, if you can see, it's scraped out in this section, and that's the inside of the car. You can see the headrest, but you can't see anything else outside of that. You got your vent in the front, your windshield wipers. So this was another test where I was like, okay, well, how do I feel about this? And I kind of like that, but still a little bit difficult. And this challenge was difficult all the way through. I didn't have an easy point at all when I was trying to brainstorm this. But this, I think, will help us in the future. I have an idea. So let's see if it works tonight. Here's where we ended up. Guy cleaning his car, scraping off the back of his window. And we have... We have, it's cold outside. He's got snow. And Frosty the Snowman in full form. Which will bring us to our very last point and where I ended up. So this is, after all drawing all that, this is what I ended up coming up with. We came up with a mix between Frosty the Snowman and scraping off the back of the car. He's like leaning over a little bit and trying to like get at the back without having to like walk over to it, being lazy. This was still pretty difficult. I still don't know if I quite captured everything correctly. You have like, this car is an old Honda Civic hatchback, which maybe I should add something to the lights, or I need to add more shadow, that's for sure. Now, and that's another thing. Thanks. I knew it was going to come out good. I just had to think about it for a little bit. So that comes to the next thing, is is the shadows wrong? So if the light's coming down from the top source and we have shadow underneath the car, which I wasn't supposed to be shadow, it was supposed to be the snow hadn't hit underneath the car, and I had to elongate one of the wheels here. It got a little bit weird down there. I don't know. The car was too high off the ground, so that was a problem. But I tried to add his shadow, right? And this is how you do it in the non-digital world. Is you're like, oh, okay, well, let me see if the shadow works there. And I just couldn't figure out if the shadow worked there or if the shadow was wrong. You know? Like, no shadow. Of course, needs shadow somewhere. He needs shadow, like, all under here. Probably needs shadow here. This is probably all shaded towards the car. But, like, really, this bottom part I was really struggling with. I tried to get the scraper in and, like, what he would look like from the down angle. I just don't know if that was correct. I don't know. Anyone out there think that what I should do with the bottom of that? I don't know. Shadow, no shadow. No shadow, shadow. I don't know. Liked it. Just got to figure out whether I'm going to do the shadow or not. But that one's all done. So I found out today it's probably more interesting watching me draw all these little pieces and all these little brainstorm things than it is to watch me fret about finishing a final piece. And this also helps me figure out, okay, so maybe not necessary. I still think it needs something to give it some more shape. I just can't figure out what. Anyways, so I think it'll be more interesting to see me try to brainstorm in dark marker and without like having to worry about mistakes or erasing or like erasing big parts. This way I can just make them, you can visually see them better, I think, opposed to pencil drawing. And because nighttime and lighting from the direction of the camera. Okay. Anyways, cool. So it doesn't really need shadow depending on if there was light coming from the back, which means I should probably put some shine on the back of this wheel, which there was, and I fought with it forever. But then, I don't know. Shadow's okay. I think it came out good. For as much time as we spent on it, we'll be okay. Anyway, so I'm going to cut the piece of paper. We're going to roll dice. We're going to do everything the same. But what we're going to do differently today is I'm going to take the scrap paper and I'm going to use that paper to brainstorm on. But I'm going to use markers so we can see it. We can play with a little bit more than what we usually do, where I'm trying to create a finished product, which I think is too hard. And usually the picture might not be what I started with. If you look at the video that I finished yesterday, we were still here with the bird. So I think it'd be more fluid if I work through and we use the scrap from the paper. Anyways, so let's get started because it's already 8:15 and we've been doing this for 10 minutes. I liked how this came out. Great. We're going to put frost away. I didn't get time to cut new tape today, so we're just going to have to... Wow, that Post-it note is terrible. See those? It's because it's got stuck to a million things. I don't know why Post-it notes like to follow me around, but I probably go to the store with a Post-it note stuck to me. I don't know. Every time I go to the store, I'm like, why is there a Post-it note on the bottom of my shoe? And I'm like, oh, pay all your bills. I'm like, oh, I can't do that. Okay. So cool. Done. Finished. Frost is complete. It goes away with all the rest. All right. Let's get to our second part of this, where we zoom ourselves out a little bit. Oh, too much, too much. You can see the whole setup, which is fine. There's nothing going on here. I wish I had more room, but got to start somewhere. Okay, so dice. Let's go. What's our word for today? We haven't even checked what our word is for today. I'm glad we're set up in the studio, but let's get a better angle. There we go. Perfect. That gives me that much room to roll in. Let's check out what the word is for today. The word for today is, we've done the complete row of row 1, complete row of row 2. Check. Great. We are on row 3, so 21. So today's word is chains. Today's word is chains. All right, so we're going to practice drawing chains, and then I'm going to figure something out between today and tomorrow, and then I'll have something to show you tomorrow. That's a better plan. I think that'll work good. Okay, so chains. Let's jump over back into the studio, and let's get my Post-it notes. Maybe I should try something different since those ones are so terrible. Do I have any real Post-it notes? Oh, no. Oh, no. The only ones are these tiny ones. What about these? Oh, look at this. I got some red ones. All right. I guess we're switching to red for the last ones. All right. Word for today is chains. Chains. Height. Width. All right. Roll, baby, roll. 5. We haven't seen any huge numbers on this. 5 by 9. 5 by 8. I can't do my math. 5 by 8. Yeah. It'd be terrible if I did this whole episode and then I went to review the footage and I was like, oh, 5 by 8. That wasn't even in the shot. Okay. Well, 5 by 8. Let's cut the 5 by 8 down. And since we're using its recycled paper parts as the rest of our drawing material. Let's see what that looks like. By the time I'm done doing these 31 days, it's gonna feel so normal to me. So 5. Should I cut the 5 first? Should I cut the 8 first? It's 8.5, right? So in theory, I should be able to get 2 of these sheets out of one of these. 5, right? Well, that's not fair. I didn't need a whole. The sheet that I'm going to be using is going to be bigger than the sheet I have to draw on. I guess that's fine. Okay. So here's the piece of paper we're going to use. We're going to set this aside for now. That'll keep us from having to like tape everything down. It's nice to have everything taped down though, because then I will not move the paper. Now, because I do have this sheet, and although I like having a nice full sheet to have a test, I really don't want this much. I want to cut it down into a couple sample pieces. So we're at 8.5. So just to mix it up a little bit. But then that forces me to draw small. Maybe I'll use it the size it is. That's fair. Then everything goes around. But then primarily I'm going to be drawing the same picture that I'll be drawing. I don't know. Let's just do a quick little tape job. Ooh. I'm breaking things in the studio. Man down. Man down. Happens. It happens. Okay, quick. Just a quick taping job because I really just want to get started. And this is more just for security reasons. Nope, that one's just going to go there. Perfect. Excellent. No border on this one because this is our practice sheet. This will let us draw things big and small. And who knows, maybe we'll come out right the first time. Okay, so chains, right? Zoom in. Zoom in. Move that over. Make sure my light is good. Okay. Chains. Okay, what are we thinking? Chains are not super hard to draw there. They have a pretty basic shape. So like a basic chain, you're going to have, if you're looking at it straight, right? Let's say we're going to draw one up close. So we have a link. I think the most important part about drawing chains is like figuring out where this link goes in, like not putting this link too high, which I already think I did. And so if this is like one of those rounded chains, so you need to draw this eye part, and then you need to copy the pattern. Right? I'm not really worried about these looking that great. I'm just trying to see how we're going to draw these. Right? Chain. And see, that's the tricky part, is that eye part has to be long enough, and your chain part also has to be long enough. Because if the down part isn't long enough, now look, these look too close together a little bit, and your chain doesn't look uniform. So like you want to put one length, right? And then this needs to go down to like here, right? Because it's got to be on the inside of that. And see, my chain already looks terrible. It's like, oh, it's so basic. Okay. Let's try to give ourselves a little bit more leeway with this. You know what I want to do is I want to try to draw that really hard to like make chain. It's like called some sort of link. It's a special link that they do. It's like cut from one piece of metal. It's like the sideways link that like falls into itself. Too complicated, I think. Good. Chain done. What else to chain? Okay, so we've done it big. Doesn't look that great. Lots of room to mess up. Let's try to do it small. I'm going to try to do the same idea. Just draw links. Whoops, and that one was way too far away. So like, you really have to like be cautious of, I mean, I guess it depends. Yeah, see these links are too small. The chain would never fit in there. See what I'm saying? So like you kind of have to be careful. You can't just go crazy with your chain. It'd be nice. Okay, so like basic chain down. Okay, I can do chain. Do some chain. Can we do chain turning? Oh, I mean this would turn first, right? This would be our appendage to turn, and then this would be more straight. So we could do chain turning. Right? What about chain coming towards us? Oh, I don't know. Could I hook the two chains together? Am I skilled enough to do that? No. Sorry, I'm talking myself into being very confident. So now what? Chains. Great. What do we got? Chains. Some sunglasses, maybe? A big old smile. Draw a little face here. Right? nose. We need a chin, right? This is what happens when I don't draw by the book. Just start throwing lines out there. Need some ears. See, I feel like this is more interesting, even though I'm probably gonna do, it's probably a little bit more difficult, okay, to do this, because I need chin. Let's give him some cheekbones. Chin, cheekbones. That straw jawline. We got like a neck. And that's the important part, is the neck part. So how do we do oh man, this is too small. I've ruined it. So maybe, oops, that's okay. That'll help me. What if I dotted, like made a dotted line and then just drew squares? Does that look like a chain? So dash, 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 and then square, 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 square. Yeah, ball and chain would be cool. Ball and chain would be cool. You know, good old Flavor Flav. Small, skinny guy. Right? I don't know. Not important. Okay. I would have to see a picture of him. I don't even know what Flavor Flav looks like. So jewelry chain can do that. But what kind of chain? Okay, what about an anchor? Maybe we should hit the desktop and check out some examples of chain. Ball and chain would be cool. The clasp on a ball, like a traditional, is the... I don't even know what it looks like. You have your ball, but you... How do I do it? How do I... like, trying to do it without doing it. right? You have your ball, then you have your circular hook, which is going to go into this one. So this one's okay. And then that goes into here, goes across, and this comes back down, usually into some kind of rounded plate. This is weird because it has like a bunch of different round dimensions. Oh, am I going to pull it off? I don't know. I don't think so. And then maybe this one's higher, this one comes lower, right? Oh, I might have done it. Right? Because you got that. The plate. It's not quite round. Then you go to the next one. This one, draw the inside of it, right? Then draw the outside of it. Oh no! That's the tricky part. You got to make sure that I messed up. I messed up. It's all over. Sometimes it goes wrong, right? Where you're just like, well, that should have gone better. Oh, I might have. No, because there's no way I can break the link into this one. This is almost one that's like much easier to draw in pencil first, because you can really make some minor mistakes that really will make your picture look like it's not correct. Just going chain crazy. It's all right. One more. Give me more chain. It's like a wrecking ball. This one, like a miniature wrecking ball. Looks like it's going to take out Flavor Flav's head. Good thing he doesn't have a top of his head. I have no idea what that man's hair looks like. I feel like it's like dreadlocks like Coolio's. But boy, am I not even going to try that. It's probably like that though. We're going to line him up, and then we're going to give him dreads. I was watching a video today because I tried to learn different techniques of things like how to draw and what people do, and they said that this guy who would draw paintings, or he would make these paintings that would take years sometimes, but he would draw in all sorts of different styles. I mean, he must have had a book about different textures and how to put them down using ink. You know, like, okay, well, this is what I'm going to use if it's going to look like this. Sorry, I'm working on these dreadlocks. They don't look very natural. I think I need to give him more head space. He needs to round his head out. His head's too square. more fun doing the doodles than it is doing the actual challenge, I feel. It's actually really good. The big clock says Flavor Flav. Yeah. The big clock does say Flav. I always think about things like that, like Flavor Flav sitting on his couch somewhere doing something right now, watching TV. Could be doing the exact same thing. He could be watching this stream right now. Never know. Never know. I wouldn't doubt it. Flav's probably a big fan of mine. We go way back from when I used to watch him on his reality show. I don't know why he's a white man here. This is upsetting. But I'm not even going to get into that shading. Okay, chain though. Let's hop into the desktop. Let's look at some chain. Pretty similar to what I drew. Links. Chain is not necessarily the most exciting. Okay. My mouse is having an issue today. I went and fixed my keyboard. Come on. Come on, mouse. Let's go. Please go. Please move. If it's not one thing, it's another. There we go. Okay, chain. Pendants. This was the chain I was thinking about drawing. But this almost looks like a bunch of Tic Tacs like put together. So, no, not that chain. So, what I do want to do is look up some people that had chains. Ghost of Christmas Past. So I remember this Goofy when I was younger, and the Christmas Tale had a lot of chains with him. He's like, well, why does he have chains? Of old memories? It's pretty cool. His center is 2 keys. He has one piece over his shoulder like a bayonet. I don't want to copy anything Disney though. I'm just seem to have a lot of Disney genre stuff going on in the brain. Okay. Then we can go the other way. Oh man, I didn't spell that right. So Scorpion's main attack is this chain attack with this dagger at the end. The dagger at the end of it. Sorry, I don't know where my mouse went. Which would be a cool... Is it a rope? Huh. I always thought it was chain. There's also bicycle chains. Oh, it is. It's like braided wire. So that's not going to work. But it's chain here. It's chain here. Okay. What about... This is really going to nerd me out a little bit, but Kratos, God of War, he's got these crazy knives on chains as well. I don't know what they're called. Would be helpful if I was more of a nerd. They're called something... Ben Stiller? Why is Ben Stiller coming up with character, Elden Ring, art? Anyways, he has these on chains like this. But they're long and they extend. Would be cool to do the God of War or Kratos. Where else do we see chains? Chain link fence, chain tattoo. Oh, of course there's that guy. Don't forget about him. There's always... Oh. Nope, wrong one. Desktop. Chain ship connected to an anchor. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Look, there's an ear. Those are pretty cool. If your ears were pierced. Good old Etsy get some love from me. This would be cool. But I feel like I've already done Mario. Haven't we done Mario? Do a lot of Mario. So maybe let's not do more Mario. There's a bunch of... If you get into anchors are very, very interesting. They have all sorts of different anchors that drop off ships, and they do different things. I wish I could find the video. I probably will get canceled for showing it on let's just see. It's really interesting how they like dig into the ground. I saw like a really quick video about them. But some like scoop into the ground. Some like, it's so interesting.
When I first learned how to package my brand assets, before I actually knew about Adobe
Express.
Loud. Export.
Skipping the ad.
This quick video guide will look at the different types of anchors and the anchor system. The anchor is one of the most important pieces of safety gear. In the event you lose power, your anchor will stop your boat from drifting into danger.
Like some anchors, they like pull
Firstly,
backwards and
let's
then
look
they
at
have
the
to go
parts of an
forwards.
anchor. The shank is the main arm of the anchor. The fluke is the holding part of the anchor that is buried in the sea.
And then anchors get complicated.
The
They're not
stock is
just
a
the
crossbar that is used to
traditional
turn an anchor
ones
to
we've
ensure
always
the fluke
seen.
digs into the bottom material.
But of course,
The
we can do
crown is where the
traditional
fluke
ones.
and the shank connect. And the tripping ring is used
Sorry,
for
I'm not
breaking
even
the
listening
anchor
to
out
this.
to the tripping line.
This is probably super boring. Let's not watch this. But you can watch this on your own time. It's really interesting about anchors and how they work and how they lodge and dislodge themselves. Let's just continue on with our research. Sorry, doing a lot of clicking today. So there's some more traditional anchors. Anchor with chain design. So right, like, just to help me kind of guide my chain line, I'm going to do that. I'm going to draw my anchor behind it, which the anchor is actually not a super complex shape. We're looking at a T-joint, right? This is probably going to turn out really poorly because I'm trying to draw it one side at a time, which I probably shouldn't do. Okay, and then it needs to come up, circle, to the other side, down. Did I do that correctly? Over. Great. Make it the same size. Fantastic. Oh, okay, so it's coming out of here. It's going behind there. It's coming up in front here. So I'm going to probably put a link of chain right here because I've already kind of messed that up. Was not paying attention. Let's drop the back of the anchor here. Okay, we're going to clean it up a little bit. Sorry, missed that line. Missed this line too. Wow, it's okay. That's why we're practicing. So this link is going to come through here. And it's going over, so we're going to go under. Oh man, I made a mess of that. It's okay. Okay, so there's a link of chain there. This goes down to a point here, let's say. Little bump. We're going to try to measure out from the center of this a little bit. Try to be reasonable instead of just eyeballing it too hard. Right? Length of the pen cap, great. Sometimes just take anything you got around you to measure. It probably is not going to work the greatest, but I don't know. It might work. So, what we need is it to end. Then it needs to come back up. It probably needs to come back up to about here, I would say. And that's going to be our points. Maybe we do this. We do this. Oh no, that's bad. Alright. You would draw the back of a cruise ship. Chain coming down, anchor above the waterline. Yeah. Be a good idea. Would be a good idea. So here's this one. This one goes through. This one goes around. This one goes this way. It's just hard to draw them. in marker. Because you got to know what you're doing. This one goes in. This one continues around. This one goes down. This one probably comes around here, like so. This one goes down. This one comes around, goes to the back. This one comes around. This one comes down. Wonder if it helps if you do sound effects while you draw. Probably. It's probably a proven study that sound effects help people draw. That's probably why I have to add so many sound effects to the YouTube shorts for anyone to even watch them. Okay, so chain takes time, can be done, takes lots of time, time consuming. Alright. Alright, so lots of chain. Easy. Go for it. Behind the thing. Back over. Another square. Coming down. Another square. Then I can get back to my lazy chain. The squares. Let's go around. I can still do round. This one's just still straight. You know? Because that's my turning. That's where the piece turns. If it's going to go the other way, it's going to turn there. You wanted chains? I'll give you chains. I like that you're drawing in pen so that I can see what you're drawing. Yeah, and that's what I thought. I thought that the pen drawing might be a little bit easier to see. Although there's no forgiveness. And I'm just like drawing, and that's okay. I feel like this is a better brainstorming process, and maybe what this will turn into more or less after Inktober's over. I need to figure out a plan for what's next month. You know. But the pen, I'm sure, makes it much easier for the viewers to watch. Probably a lot more tolerable. So this would go out in front, but unfortunately I've messed that all up. Okay. So do I feel like I got enough practice, or do I want more practice? Should I do the last half hour in pencil? I mean, that's the problem is there's an anchor. Anchor. But you're right, I should put it on the back of a cruise ship somewhere. Bet you can find the picture. Ooh, there's a photo stock image. Mono setup. Retrieve float, primary float. Wow, what is that? That's interesting. It's a ship with his anchor out. It's a cool photo. Might be cool to do like an anchor falling and then like sharks, or do an underwater scene. Might be fun to do. Like not so much an anchor on a ship, although an anchor on a ship would be easy. You could have and try to one line it. I'm not trying to one line it anymore. I'm trying to get it done. Why is that eye look all messed up? Because it is messed up. He's got a regular fin on this side, right? Because it's not messed up by the eel. Let's see, you guys can guess who this is. Who is it? What Disney character is it? I won't say it. I could do Bruce. I could do Scuba Diver. Got another fin here. This one's all colorful too. His tail goes back here. Looks like this. It's got a bunch of color on it too. Has some striations on it like that. And then there's like a white line too for Nemo. That's right, if you didn't guess it, it is our buddy Nemo. Pretty terrible drawing of Nemo, though. Pretty quick. Quick like a bunny. Okay, so what's our next step? Anchor, ball and chain. I feel like I need to draw Miley Cyrus sitting here. I'm like having fun like playing with texture now because I've watched that video, so I'm like, oh, I wonder if I do this or draw a thinner line, like what that looks like. And okay, but that's not what we're trying to do. Anchor, I could do. Ball and chain, I could do. Chains, I could do. I could do a prisoner. Who's chained up. I could do Shaun of the Dead. I could do his friend. You know, Ed. Because he's chained to the... What is that movie called? Shaun of the Dead. Ed. See, there's Zombie Ed. He's got that hairline. He almost looks kind of Frankenstein-y. That same like Frankenstein crease right there above his nose. Nose comes down. He has no eyes. His hair's kind of a mess. He's drooling. Oh boy, his face is much bigger. I gotta really draw some of these facial lines. I don't know, I think that's a really hard picture to draw just because it's so obscure to begin with. Just try to add a little bit of shading in here. Too much, too much. Oh, his mouth is kind of open, but his lips are nice and big and pouty. He's got his ear, and then he's got like blood all over his face, really. But these like bags under his eyes are really our selling point here. It's a lot of highlighting with pen, I feel. And then he's got a chain around his neck that clasps on one side. Because he's chained to the wall. Because he's a zombie. They use the old school chain. I've drawn into my other picture. Oh no. Now his hair comes down like this, so can I give him more hair? And some of it's just like out of control on the top. I like the Shaun of the Dead reference. I just really need to be able to draw him in a better fashion. And that might take a little bit of work. Maybe I'd have to draw him normal. Let's see. Maybe I should draw them both playing video games together, but both as zombies. So I should use not the Pete photo. Yeah, that is Nemo. Good old Nemo in the corner. Trying to work on drawing people. Like if they asked me to do a caricature, I would lose. Oh man. That one's better though. Oh, I see. There's a chain. That's not what it is. There's a chain from his neck to a metal bar that goes to the controller, to the chain between his hands. Oh dear, sorry. It's making everyone sit through an ad. Ooh, can't do that.
Hello.
What's the plan?
Right, a cup of tea?
Then I want to watch Shaun of the Dead.
Sundays? I don't think
So basically, this is after the zombie apocalypse. Everything's happened. Don't want a spoiler alert. Let me see. I need to. If you haven't seen it, I'm just trying to. I almost want to draw this scene where they're in the shed. Right, all for that little tiny piece of chain that's on the back of his neck. It is complicated. What do I do? Oh dear. People are breaking things upstairs. I want to start on the little one. Other uses for chains. There's bicycle chains. I can draw a bike chain. There's a nice big picture of those two. Still not super inspired to go one way or another with any of these drawings. Ship would be cool, would be easy at a small level. So let's just do some test runs on things I can draw. Let's break them down into smaller quadrants just to see which one we're going to do. It's kind of why I wanted to cut them into smaller pieces so I can be like, oh, I'm going to do this for this one. But this is alright, we're just going to do, this is what size papers we have, basically. Miniature volume version of this. No thanks. While we do that, we're going to just go to our studio because we got about 15 minutes left. We're going to try to figure out what we're going to do. So I could do ocean scene. Bottom of the floor. Let's draw this. Here's a rock here. Here's a shark. Here's a shark. Right? Anchor. Boom. Hit the floor. This might be fun to do. This is probably going to win. Anchor on the floor. You know why? Because we could throw some fun stuff in here. Like there's a lot of fun things we could do with this, like a pineapple under the sea, right? Could do a pineapple under the sea. We could also, which is cool, can copy some other cartoon work. Shark, we could put the Little Mermaid, we could put Ursula, we could go in all sorts of directions with the anchor and the chain, right? Could put a sunken ship back here, maybe the Black Pearl, you know, draw an in-depth picture of Johnny Depp right here with his little hat and his hat thing and all his beads and hair bands. Here we go. There we go. Johnny Depp dead with his and a sword probably. you know, just as much as you could probably put in there. Probably put that little plankton here. Looking at SpongeBob's house. Boom. This could be Bruce with his big smile. I don't know. You gotta draw some evil eyes. Bruce. My name's Bruce. You could put the turtle in the background. Throw him back here, right? You could put Fry and his mermaid woman back here from Futurama. Okay, good. One idea. Perfect. Good. Second idea. Draw this. Here's our couch. Right? Here's Sean with his tie and his red tie on from his job that he doesn't like. Sitting on the couch with his knees here, and then he got his shoes gonna hit the floor here. Shoes here. Arm, video game, right? Bracelet, chain in front of his knees. Metal thing that comes to the chain. Neck brace around his collar. Head, face, eyes, nose, and he's got like a little front hair here. He's got some major widow peaks, and then he's got some hair back here. Right, like he's got some stuff going on there. You got an ear. Then he's gonna have a neck brace. And then that chain's gonna go up to the ceiling. Right? And then his friend Ed with the other weird hair. I wonder if these guys even comb their hair at all to do Shaun of the Dead. And then his hair goes like this. Then he's got some eyes as well. Got this big open mouth look on his face. Like usual. His head's too low. I didn't do that right. But maybe he's more hunched over. And then neck piece. Hands playing video games. Controller in front. Right. Arms coming down. Arms coming down. Metal piece. Controller. Hand. Bracelet. Bracelet. Chain. Chain. Knees. Arms. Come forward. Arms come forward. To controller. Knees behind his elbows. Then shoes. Chain to the ceiling. Right. Inside the man cave that they've made. And I'd have to get some information from like what the door looks like, what might be behind him, you know. Ed might be just sitting on a bucket. This is after Ed has bitten Sean by accident, and now that they're both infected. Life of video games. Okay, that's another good idea. Then there was the easier idea, which was like, okay, just do a ship, right? Right? From the top, a cruise ship. Easy does it. Do a line. Sometimes they have some holes here on the deck so that water can be released, right? And then, well, it's the back of a boat, right? So you can't do the front of a boat. It's got to be the back. I did that wrong. I did like the front of a ship. That's okay. We get the idea. Back of the boat, anchor, right? How's anchor hang on chain? We didn't even get a good visual of what that looks like. I mean, like the anchor is completely inside this one, but that's not what we want. Man, anchors are like such a weird looking thing when you look at them going into ships. But, I mean, of course I can just have it coming out of a hole in the side of the ship, right? And like anchor going down. There we go. Right? Easy. It's an easy idea. It's a good idea. Even though maybe not so easy. I mean, I have to actually look what the back of a boat looks like. Like this back of the boat looks like the front of the boat. What's the difference between the back of the boat? There's just really no good pictures out there, is there? There's one last thing we might be able to pull off, but I don't know. Grinding, chain, skateboard. There's a guy who's able to grind a piece of chain link. Lots of braille. Oh, well, that's chain, grind, skateboard. It only got half my, there it is. No way. That's not real. That's not real. No, that's fake.
I learned how to draw. Our youngest.
Okay, let's not go through this. That'd be crazy though. That chain doesn't move at all. Nope. Somebody does do the chain link grind though. Not where we want to go though. I think we're gonna probably end up pulling off the Finding Nemo one or doing something underwater. I feel like making a scene might be fun for this one. Although I do like the Shaun of the Dead idea as well. Anyways, that's where I'm going to get started. I'm going to actually do all the pencil work and draw. Yeah, go with the one I enjoy doing. I think that one will probably be the hardest to do, this one, but I think I'll have the most fun adding characters in and trying to mimic some of, or I could do like a wrecking ball, you know, swinging. Maybe do like, oh, New York City window, and a guy like out his window going no with his eyes closed. He's put his arms out because he's like gonna stop it. because he's like Superman, right? Here's his window. He's outside of it. And there's a window sill, of course. And you have this. No balcony. You got some bricks. Just draw some bricks. Oh man, I did a terrible job. Those don't look like bricks at all. I should have just been like, right? Easier bricks. And then here comes, well, if the wrecking ball is going to make contact, that means our point is up here. That means we should be about here. So we could put like, and then again, wrecking ball situation goes like this. This. You think I can get away with just putting one chain link in and everyone will be happy with the amount of chain that I've drawn in this challenge? Right, so wrecking ball swinging towards a man who's still living in his apartment. Let's give him some more hair. Let's give him an ear. A nose. Put a bird flying by. Right. This wrecking ball's making its move. You can see it. It's coming. He's not ready. He's still got a cup of coffee in his hand. That's what I just said. I was just saying that the wrecking ball one, I was like, well, what if I get the same thing with the anchor though? Look at the anchor. You barely have any chain here. I feel like I get the most chain out of doing the Shaun of the Dead, but definitely going to be the hardest with the ability to draw people and draw them as zombies, which is even more interesting. I have to take the best part of their features, you know? So like this guy's got like some droopier eyes where the eye comes down like that and it makes him look sad, you know? Like he's kind of got this sad look to him. And that eye comes up like this. And then he's got like a worried eyebrow that's thin right here. Then goes down and comes back up. Nose. Noses are hard because it's literally this triangle. Then it goes straight back to where it meets his face, and then right? Another worried eyebrow. Oh, like kinks up at the end. And again, those eyes with just the little bit of overhang. I don't know, drawing people, you really have to like be able to identify those subtle features that make the person them. Then he's got this mustache, a little bit of a mustache. I don't know. That would be the challenge. I mean, they're all going to have challenges. Every time there's a drawing, there's always challenges. Whether it be trying to draw a person, you know, and this doesn't have any identifying features of, yeah. So I don't know. I'm going to have to pick one of the three, but yeah, well, that's what I was thinking, that I might do some SpongeBob related stuff in the underwater scene. But I kind of want to do the Shaun of the Dead scene. Anyways, I got work to do, so I'm going to think about what's going to happen. I'll draw tonight, and hopefully tomorrow we'll have a picture ready for you for chains. So that's going to be it for this stream. I hope you enjoyed it a little bit more. We got some drawing in. Pulling an anchor home. Yeah, that could be a good idea. Maybe I'll do that. Do SpongeBob doing something with an anchor. So hopefully that was a little bit easier to see. We got to draw a little bit more of, get to see a little bit more of the actual drawing part rather than always just seeing pencil drawing. And then I feel like sometimes it's just hard to see. So hopefully this episode was a little bit better. And as we continue to improve, hopefully it becomes a little bit more interesting and fun to watch. That's the goal. That's the goal. But for now, we're going to do some scribbling in the evening so that I can get ready to do the drawing for the next day. I would really like to get caught up. And that could be, maybe I should start streaming during the day at a different time. I might actually get more viewers if I stream at a different part of the day. I know this isn't correct, but I really like how he came out, And put that in there. Looks more like this is Halloween. Yeah, he definitely has some markings. Anyways, I think that's going to be it for this one. I hope everyone enjoyed watching. It's Saturday. Enjoy your evening and the rest of your weekend. We will see you back here tomorrow to finish up our drawing and to basically see what I decided to draw for chains. Anyways, I'll see you guys later, and that'll be it for this episode. Good night and have a good weekend. Peace. Good night, Kylie. Have to tune in to see what you end up with. Yep, that's the plan. If you want to see what happens, you got to tune in tomorrow. Then you don't have to stay for the drawing part. You just have to be here for the intro. Don't tell everyone that, though. I'll try to skip class. Anyways, that's going to be it for this one. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.